She gets it.
Yeah.
Muy bien, vamos con lección 8. Entonces, aquí vamos a repasar la diferencia entre masculino y femenino, la tercera persona, y vamos a aprender más expresiones de cortesía. Vamos a aprender a formar preguntas con la tercera persona. Vamos a hablar del tiempo libre y vamos a practicar un check-in en el hotel. Okay. So, remember that all things in Spanish are either going to be masculine or feminine. The general rule is that words that end with O are going to be masculine, like el libro o los libros, and then words that end with A are going to be feminine, like la pizarra or las pizarras. So the book is a boy, the whiteboard is a girl. No rhyme or reason for it. It's just Spanish, okay? Lea, ¿de qué color es el libro?
El libro es rojo.
Sky, ¿de qué color son los libros?
Los libros con rojos.
Muy bien. So remember, when we're speaking Spanish and we're using articles, nouns, and adjectives, they have to match each other in both number and gender, okay? So this is an example. We've got a singular and a plural example of masculine words here, where we've got el libro and then rojo, or los, os, and os, right? Here's a feminine version. Carly, ¿de qué color es la pizarra?
La pizarra es blanca.
Lea, ¿de qué color son las pizarras?
Las pizarras son blancas.
Right? So notice here we have a, or as. Vamos a practicar. So Sky, would you say el or la naranja?
La naranja.
¿Y de qué color es?
La naranja es anaranjado.
So close. You pronounced the masculine version of it. Anaranjada.
Anaranjada.
Anaranjada. But you got it. I know that word is hard. Carly, los o las naranjas?
Las naranjas.
¿De qué color son?
Las naranjas son anaranjadas.
Muy bien. Okay, Leah. And do the whole slide now, Leah. El o la plátano.
La plato.
So what letter does plátano end with?
El plato. El plato es amarillo.
And now the plural version?
Oh, okay. Los plátanos son amarillos.
Sky.
El escritorio es negro.
Muy bien.
Los escritorios es negros.
And in the plural form, we change the verb es to son. It's like
Son.
is versus are. The desks are black. Carly?
La mesa. La mesa es blanca. Las mesas son blancas.
El diccionario es amarillo. Los diccionarios es amarillos.
Okay, close. Los diccionarios son amarillos.
Amarillos. Son amarillos.
La puerta es morado.
Close.
Uh,
So you said the masculine version of the
morada. I thought I got purple wrong. Morada.
You
that
got the
makes sense.
color right, but yeah, it's morada.
Okay.
Right.
And then las puertas son morada.
So that was the singular version.
Moradas.
There you go. Las puertas son moradas. So this is funny because for you, it's probably not funny, right? But for for me, from a linguistic perspective, it's funny because this is like considered a basic element of grammar, being able to use an adjective, right? However, because of the way this works in Spanish and the difference between English and Spanish, even though this is what would be considered a basic grammar concept, honestly, I think this is one of the hardest things for an English brain to do, just because we do not do this in English. So if you're making mistakes here, you should be. I don't want you to feel bad if it's like, oh my gosh, he keeps correcting me, right? Like it's because this is an odd thing for our English brains. It's just the way our brains are wired. So when we do an activity like this, like we're going to have to constantly keep coming back to this because our brains just don't want to work this way. They don't, right? So I think this is honestly one of the hardest things about Spanish. You know, the good news is here is theoretically, you know, this will make it easier if you want to learn another one of the Romance languages, right? Because Leah, this works the same way in French and Italian, right? So theoretically, it makes it easier to learn one.
If I didn't confuse them all.
The practice is not necessarily easier, but in theory it is, right? So just be patient with this, take a deep breath, you know, don't get frustrated with this type of activity, and just keep working on it, right? If you're making mistakes, just keep coming back to it. Okay, el o la. Who are we with, Carly?
I think it's me, yeah. La computadora es verde. Las computadoras son verdes.
Muy bien.
La casa es azul. Las casas son azules. Azules.
Okay, so when we're describing people, we're going to change these words, the articles and the adjectives based off of the gender of the person. El secretario está contento. La secretaria está contenta. Okay, so notice we're changing the title secretario to secretaria, contento to contenta. So, el profesor está emocionado. La profesora está aburrida. Okay, so profesor ends with a consonant. It does not end with O or A, right? So what do you do in this circumstance to make it feminine? You add an A. And don't forget that words like estudiante, typically ending with the E, don't change, right? I say typically because there are exceptions to this, but they're few and far between. However, the article changes, el estudiante to la estudiante, and the adjective changes. Contento, describing the boy student. Deprimida, with an A, describing the female student. Okay, vamos con, is it Leah now? I can't remember. We'll start with Leah.
La recepcionista es feliz.
Mm-hmm. And so here we're changing the verb to está. So la recepcionista está contenta. You could say está feliz también. 100% the same.
La recepcionista está contenta.
Bien.
Las recepcionistas
Están.
son las recepcionistas son contentas.
Okay, so again, están. So if the question is with están, we're going to have to answer also with están.
What specifically is están? It's to be?
It's also to be. Unfortunately, Spanish has two versions of this verb. The next course is almost entirely dedicated to the verb be. So
okay.
I'm kind of sneaking this in on you today because like conversationally speaking, if somebody asks you a question, you just repeat the verb in the answer, right? So I'm not necessarily, I'm doing this for a reason. I don't explain it here just for to kind of get you used to the natural acquisition part of it. Who are we with, Sky?
El profesor
¿Y cómo está?
El profesor está cansado. And los profesores están cansados.
Despiertos. So here
Oh,
we're,
despiertos.
they are awake. Carly.
El secretario. El secretario está. ¿Cómo se dice sad en español?
Triste.
Triste. Las secretarías, las las secretarias están contentas.
Okay, good.
El profesor está emocionado.
Emocionado.
Emocionado. Los profesores están aburridos.
Aburridos. Make that plural as well. Aburridos. This is hard. This is hard.
La mujer está feliz.
Here we have contenta, but it's the same. Feliz o contenta.
Las mujeres están tristes.
Muy bien.
La estudiante está feliz, contenta, or is it contenta?
Again, this,
I would say los estudiantes there. It looks like a mixed group.
it's hard to see from my angle. It looks like they're all females. You might be right. I put las estudiantes.
Las estudiantes están ¿cómo se dice? Depressed.
Deprimidas.
Deprimidas.
Okay, let's take a look at some courtesy expressions. So you probably know these already, right? Muchas gracias or de nada. If you want to say what, like you didn't hear what somebody just said to you, in most Spanish-speaking countries, you're going to say ¿cómo? I have to teach this just because most people you're going to speak to in Colorado are from Mexico, and only in Mexico, they say Monday. Monday? So you'll hear more often than not here, Monday. Leia, I do not advise you to get in the habit of saying Monday because when you go to Spain, people will not like that.
Okay. ¿Cómo?
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 And all over South America, the Caribbean, everywhere else, they say ¿cómo? It's just in Mexico, they say Monday. And I have to teach Monday because it's so common around here. Okay.
Is it
Perdón.
como and not K? Is K what?
Yeah, so
Como.
good question, right, Carly? Remember that the languages don't always translate 100%. You're
Mhm.
right. K is the interrogative pronoun word, typically would mean what, as in, you know, ¿qué te hace feliz? What makes you happy? However, because it's Spanish, right? They just use these words differently sometimes, right? So where we would say, what did you say in Spanish? I mean, I guess it's like saying, how's that, right? Come again.
Like how
How's
do you
that?
mean? Yeah. Okay.
All right, perdón y disculpa. These are two words to apologize to somebody, to say I'm sorry in the sense that you have made a mistake or done something wrong. Lo siento can also be used that way, to apologize for a mistake that you've made or for offending somebody. However, lo siento can also be used to express courtesy, to express sympathy. So if a friend of yours tells you, you know, a bad piece of news, you can say lo siento. You didn't cause that to happen, but you're just expressing your feelings there. And then we have con permiso. Con permiso means excuse me. So for example, if you're trying to pass through a crowd of people, or if you're an alligator trying to pass by a busy highway, you would say con permiso, right? You can also use this to excuse yourself from the dinner table if you need to get up or do whatever. leave Spanish class, right? You get a phone call, con permiso, profe. Okay, so what would you say in this situation, guys? Someone just helped you move into your new house.
Gracias.
Yeah, gracias. Muchas gracias, I would say.
Muchas gracias.
You didn't hear what someone just told you, Carly.
¿Cómo?
Now, Carly, did you tell me your husband is from Mexico?
He's Colombian.
Colombian. Okay. Don't learn Monday either. Colombians do not like that word either.
Oh, then I'm going to use it.
Yeah, most people outside of Mexico do not like the way that sounds, but it's very strange. Yeah. Okay, Leah, you are at a party and need to get through a crowded room.
Con permiso.
Sky, someone just thanked you.
De nada.
You bumped into someone.
Pardon.
A friend just told you some bad news.
Lo siento.
You just offended someone.
Disculpa or lo siento.
Your boss just gave you a raise.
Muchas gracias.
Absolutely, right? Muchas gracias. Okay, nice. All right, let's review the third person a little bit. We're actually going to refer the first, second, and third person here. So let's go, Leah. Ordenar.
Yo ordeno. Tú ordenas. Él ordena. Ella ordena.
Sky, tomar.
Yo tomo. Tú tomas. Él toma. Ella toma.
Reservar.
Yo reservo. Tú reservas. Él reserva. Ella reserva.
Bailar.
Yo bailo.
Bailo.
Yo bailo. Tú bailas. Él baila.
Baila.
Ella baila.
Cocinar.
Yo cocino. Tú cocinas. Él cocina. Ella cocina.
Esquiar.
Yo esquío. Tú esquías. Él esquía. Ella esquía.
Muy bien. Entonces, viajar.
Yo viajo. Tú viajas. Él viaja. Ella viaja.
Desear.
Yo deseo. Tú deseas. Él desea. Ella desea.
Hablar.
Yo hablo. Tú hablas. Él habla. Ella habla.
Caminar.
Yo camino. Tú caminas.
Caminas.
Caminas. Él camina. Ella camina.
Leer.
Yo leo. Tú lees. Él lee. Ella lee.
Beber.
Yo bebo. Tú bebes. Él bebe. Ella bebe.
Correr.
Yo corro. Tú corres. Él corre. Ella corre.
Comer.
Yo como. Tú comes. Él come. Ella come.
Aprender.
Yo aprendo. Tú aprendes. Él aprende. Ella aprende.
Escribir.
Yo escribo. Tú escribes. Él escribe. Ella escribe.
Recibir.
Yo recibo. Tú recibas. Is that right? Recibes.
There you go.
And él recibe. Ella recibe.
Discutir.
Yo discuto. Tú discutes. Él discute. Ella discute.
Vivir.
Yo vivo. Tú vives. Él vive. Ella vive.
Muy bien. Okay, we've got some new vocabulary for you. Repeat after me. Llegar.
Llegar.
Desayunar.
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 preparar,
preparar,
descansar,
descansar,
trabajar,
trabajar,
estudiar,
Estudiar.
responder.
Responder.
And then this last one is always going to be accompanied with the word a. So asistir a.
asistir a.
Muy bien. Entonces, número 1. Carly?
Is it me?
Sure.
Yo llego a casa por la tarde.
Lea? Dos.
To asiste a la
Asistes con S.
this.
Because this one we're in the to form, the you form.
Oh, I was getting to, because the A was, I was trying to put an A, like asistes a.
See, yeah. So the a is just going to follow it, right?
To asiste a las clases de español por la mañana.
Muy bien.
Mi patrón responde a los empleados por la tarde.
Muy bien.
Mi esposa desayuné o
Try that one again.
desayuna
Desayuna. Muy bien.
por la mañana.
Perfecto. Ahora 5.
Yo trabajo por la noche.
6.
Él prepara el café por la mañana.
7.
Ella descansa por la mediodía.
8.
Tú estudias español por la facultad.
Muy bien. Okay. So again, we're seeing this word por up here. And this time we use por to kind of connect a verb to an approximate time or a period of time, right? So it can kind of loosely mean around, about, during, or ish, right? So llego a casa por la tarde. Sometime in the afternoon, por la tarde. So during the afternoon is not very precise, right? I don't know. It could be 3 o'clock. It could be 6 o'clock. It's just sometime afternoon. Again, por la mañana in the next one. Tu asiste a la clase de español por la mañana. So you go to Spanish classes sometime in the morning, right? Not specific. Bien, ¿qué hora es, Guy?
10:10.
Son las, don't forget to say son las.
Son las 10:10.
Muy bien. ¿Y Carly? ¿Qué hora es?
Son las 9:17.
Lea, ¿qué hora es?
Son las 8:24.
Perfecto. Sky, ¿qué hora es?
Son las 12.
¿Qué hora es?
Es la 1:00 sí, hang on. I can do it. 15. I was going through every single number.
Es la 1:15. Muy bien. Es la 1:15. So the good news is you put es la. So that was really good, right? All right, Lea, ¿qué hora es?
Es las 3:05.
So this one you have to say son las. Son las 3:05.
Son las 3:05.
Yeah, we only say that es la because Spanish treats time like singular and plural. ¿Qué hora es?
Son las 4:25.
¿Qué hora es?
Son las 5:35.
¿Y qué hora es?
Son las 7:50. 56.
Muy bien. Okay, perfecto. We're going to wrap things up here today. It's 8 o'clock.